A 63-year-old man walked into a coffee shop, no fame, no loud entrance, no flashy watch, and yet, within seconds, 3 women in their 40s turned to look at him, not politely, not accidentally, with genuine, involuntary interest. What triggered it wasn't what you'd expect, and what I'm about to reveal are the exact body parts that caused that reaction, the specific physical features women unconsciously scan in milliseconds, features that most men over 60 have completely stopped thinking about, features that, once you understand them, change everything about how you show up in any room. Stay with me, because what's coming will challenge everything you've been told about aging, attractiveness, and whether the game is still yours to play. Here's the uncomfortable truth most men are living with right now. They've quietly accepted a story. The story goes like this. You had your time. Youth is attractive. Age makes you invisible. So they stop caring. They stop maintaining. They stop showing up with intention. And that story, it's not just wrong. It's actively costing them real connections, real chemistry, and real moments that are available right now if they only knew where to focus. Renowned relationship therapist Esther Perel, who has spent decades studying the psychology of desire, has observed something remarkable. In mature relationships and mature attraction, female desire doesn't diminish. It becomes more nuanced, more precise, and in many ways more intense than the surface-level attraction patterns of youth. The target shifts, the depth increases, and for men over 60, that's not a disadvantage, that's an opening. A study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships confirmed this. As women mature, they shift away from conventional attractiveness markers and move toward what researchers call character indicators. Physical features that unconsciously signal something deeper about a man's nature, his emotional availability, his capability, and his presence in the world. Here's what makes this so powerful. Those character indicators are found in body parts most men have never once considered, areas they've overlooked, areas they've abandoned, areas that, with remarkably simple attention, can transform how they're perceived almost overnight. One of the 5 I'm about to share, number 4, is a feature that most men completely stopped caring for after 50, yet it remains one of the most scrutinized by women. The transformation possible there is almost unfair once you understand it. Let's get into it. Number 1, the hands. The first thing she notices, the last thing. Men think about women, notice hands first, and they notice them constantly. Even when a woman isn't consciously aware she's doing it, she's doing it. Esther Perel has spoken about hands as a primary canvas of intimacy. Hands tell a woman everything she needs to know about how a man moves through the world, how he treats the objects around him, and, critically, how he might treat her. Here's the breakdown of what's actually being scanned. Grooming. Not manicured like a hand model, not polished or pampered, just maintained. Clean nails, trimmed appropriately, no visible dirt or neglect. This sounds almost embarrassingly basic, and yet a survey by a major grooming research group found that weird 68% of women reported being immediately turned off by poorly maintained hands at a first meeting, not slightly put off, immediately turned off on an otherwise promising man. The way the hands move. Are they calm and deliberate, or nervous, fidgety, constantly hiding in pockets? The movement of hands broadcasts internal state louder than almost any verbal signal. Women read this fluently, often without realizing they're doing it. Evidence of capability. This is the one that surprises people. Women aren't looking for soft hands. They're looking for capable ones, some weathering, some texture from actual use. Signs that these hands have built things, fixed things, handled real life. There's a reason the phrase, good with his hands, carries unmistakable romantic undertones. It signals a form of competence that women find deeply compelling. A woman described meeting a 64-year-old man at a dinner party. She said she noticed his hands before anything else. Weathered but clean, calm when resting, expressive when he talked about his woodworking. She said those hands told her he was someone who created things, cared for things, paid attention to details. She was drawn to him before he'd said 10 words. The action step. Hand care is embarrassingly simple. Basic moisturizer, regular nail maintenance, and most importantly, awareness of movement. Slow, deliberate gestures project confidence. Quick, anxious movements signal insecurity, regardless of how composed a man appears otherwise. Dr. David Givens, an anthropologist specializing in nonverbal communication, found that hand displays are among the most powerful attraction signals in human interaction. Women are evolutionarily primed to read hands because hands have always revealed so much about capability, health, and character. Number 2, the forearms, the secret weapon. Most men are hiding under long sleeves. This one shocks men almost every time. Forearms? Yes, forearms. And the science behind why is genuinely fascinating. Across multiple studies, when women were asked to rank physically attractive features on men, forearms placed shockingly high, often above chest, above abs, and in some surveys competing with face. For men over 60, this finding becomes especially relevant because forearms are one of the few body parts where age and experience can actually work in your favor. Here's why they carry such power. They're consistently visible. Chest is covered by shirts, arms hidden by sleeves. But forearms? Forearms appear whenever a man rolls up his sleeves, reaches across a table, picks something up, or simply exists in warmer weather. They're exposed in natural, everyday moments, which is exactly why they register. Perel discusses the concept of micro-exposures in attraction, the small, unintentional revelations in ordinary moments that spark genuine interest. A rolled sleeve revealing a capable forearm is precisely this kind of moment. It's intimate without being deliberate. It's revealing without being excessive. They signal physical capability. The muscles of the forearm are working muscles, built for gripping, lifting, controlling physical reality. They communicate competence in a way that's immediately readable. A woman in her mid-50s described a contractor who came to fix her kitchen cabinets. She described him as average in most ways, ordinary face, gray hair, nothing remarkable. But when he rolled up his sleeves, she said, something shifted. His forearms were defined and capable. The entire interaction changed. She laughed when she told me, I didn't even know I noticed forearms until I couldn't stop noticing his. For men over 60, here's the empowering reality. Years of actual use create a kind of definition that gym routines alone can't replicate. The key is maintaining enough muscle mass through basic activity, keeping the skin reasonably healthy through hydration, and, perhaps most critically, actually showing them. Men who live permanently in long sleeves are hiding one of their greatest potential assets. So, nerve 3, the eyes, what she's really reading. When she looks at your face. Everyone knows eyes matter, but here's what most people don't understand. What women over 35 are actually scanning for goes far beyond eye color or symmetry. Esther Perel has written about what she calls the conjugal gaze of presence, the way a man's eyes communicate whether he is truly there in a moment or mentally somewhere else entirely. She notes that this quality becomes more visible, more detectable, As both the observer and the observed mature, you can't fake it for long, and it is extraordinarily attractive when it's real. For men over 60, the eyes tell a rich story, and it's often a more compelling story than the eyes of younger men. The lines around the eyes, crow's feet, smile lines, are not the liability men assume they are. A study from Western University in Canada found that people with smile lines were consistently rated as more genuine, more warm, and more trustworthy than those without them. Those lines are evidence of a life spent laughing, squinting into sunlight, expressing real emotion. In the right context, they read as distinguished, not diminished. But beyond the physical features, here's what women are specifically scanning for in the eyes: the quality of attention. When a man looks at a woman during conversation, does it feel focused? Is she being truly seen, or is he glancing past her, distracted, mentally somewhere else? This quality is visible, it cannot be convincingly performed, and it is one of the most immediately attractive things a man can offer. Expressiveness. Do the eyes change when he speaks about something that matters to him? Do they light up, soften, intensify, or do they remain flat and unexpressive throughout? Women read emotional availability through eye behavior more than through almost any other feature. Vitality signals. Clear whites, appropriate brightness, alertness. These communicate health and energy at a level women process unconsciously. A woman described meeting her current partner when she was 58 and he was 62. She said the first thing she truly noticed were his eyes, not their color. She couldn't remember the color when I asked. What she remembered was the way they focused on her when she spoke. She felt seen. She felt interesting. That feeling was created entirely by how his eyes behaved during a conversation. The action step. This is equal parts health and habit, proper sleep, hydration, but more powerfully, practice being present. Phone away, internal noise quieted. Actually focus on the person in front of you. This quality of genuine presence is trainable, and it shows first and loudest in the eyes. 4. The shoulders and posture, the feature men, abandoned and women never stopped noticing. Here it is, the one I mentioned, the feature most men over 60 have gradually surrendered, and the one that remains under constant, near constant female surveillance. Posture, the set of the shoulders, the way a man occupies and moves through physical space. This might be uncomfortable to hear, but posture is one of the fastest mechanisms by which women unconsciously sort men into categories. Vital or declining, confident or defeated, worth engaging or best avoided. These assessments happen in under 2 seconds, and they're based almost entirely on how a man stands and carries himself. Perel discusses posture as a component of what she calls erotic presence, the idea that desire responds to energy, and energy is expressed most visibly through how the body inhabits space. A man with conventionally attractive features can neutralize that attraction completely through collapsed, withdrawn posture. Conversely, a man with ordinary features can become genuinely magnetic simply through how he carries himself. The research is striking. A study from the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found that expansive, upright postures increased perceived attractiveness more significantly than clothing, grooming, or facial symmetry. More than clothing, more than grooming, more than the symmetry of a man's face. For men over 60, posture has often suffered from decades of desk work, long drives, ingrained habits, and, perhaps most damaging, the quiet cultural message that it simply doesn't matter anymore. The body starts to fold inward, the shoulders round forward, The head drops. But here's what that posture communicates to everyone watching: surrender. And here's what upright, open posture communicates: I'm still here. I'm still engaged. I'm still in this. A woman in her 60s told me about a reunion event she attended. Two men, same graduating year, same approximate age and build. The first walked in with rounded shoulders, shuffled steps, eyes slightly down. The second entered with shoulders back, chin level, measured strides. She said the difference was so stark it was almost comical. One appeared 20 years older than the other, despite being the exact same age. The action step: immediate improvement is available right now. Awareness of shoulder position alone can shift perception instantly. Ongoing improvement comes from basic strengthening of upper back and core muscles that support an upright posture, exercises that take minutes, not hours. The return on investment here is unmatched. No single change available to a man over 60 produces a more dramatic shift in how he's perceived, and posture is one of the few physical attributes entirely within his control. 5. The mouth, the feature that previews everything she's hoping for. This one brings everything together, and it goes far beyond the smile, though the smile matters enormously. This is about the full complex of lips, teeth, and most critically, how the mouth moves during speech and expression. Perel has noted that women are often subconsciously evaluating a man's mouth during conversation, reading not just the words, but the manner in which those words are formed. The mouth, she argues, becomes a preview of intimacy in ways most men have never considered. Here's what's actually being observed: dental health and maintenance. Not perfect teeth. In fact, teeth that look aggressively artificial can register as a red flag rather than an asset. The standard is care, clean, fresh breath, the absence of visible neglect. A survey by the American Dental Association found that 73% of women rated teeth as a feature they notice early. And for older adults, that percentage increased. This matters more as men age, not less. The authenticity of the smile. Is it genuine or is it a performance? Does it arrive naturally or does it appear strained and rehearsed? Does it reach the eyes? Women detect the difference between a real and a performed smile with remarkable accuracy, often without consciously trying. Authentic smiles are among the most universally powerful attraction signals in human behavior. How the mouth moves during speech. This is where it gets especially interesting for men over 60. Does he speak with clarity and deliberateness? Are there pauses that signal genuine thought, or is there mumbling, rushing, verbal anxiety? A speech pathologist explained that women process male speech partially through visual channels, watching the movement of the mouth alongside hearing the voice. This is why video communication often feels more connecting than audio alone. We're reading the mouth while we're listening. For older men, the character lines around the mouth, from years of expression, laughter, conversation, can read as deeply attractive when paired with genuine expressiveness. A woman described her attraction to her partner's mouth specifically. She said she noticed how he spoke first, measured, clear, with pauses that showed he was actually thinking. Then she noticed his smile, which arrived slowly and genuinely. I trusted that mouth, she said, before I consciously decided to trust the man attached to it. The action step. Regular dental care, attention to breath, and behaviorally, practice genuine expression. Speak with deliberate clarity. Allow the mouth to express rather than suppress. Slow the smile down and let it be real. The thread that connects all 5 hands that show capability and care. forearms that reveal physical competence, eyes that communicate presence and emotional availability, shoulders and posture that signal continued vitality, a mouth that previews health, warmth, and genuine connection. Notice what these 5 features share. None of them require a gym transformation. None of them require expensive treatments or radical interventions. None of them demand that a man become someone he isn't. What they require is attention, presence, the recognition that attraction doesn't end at any particular age. It shifts its focus. And the men who understand this shift, who give these areas even modest intentional care while their peers abandon them entirely, create something that looks almost unfair from the outside. They become noticeable in rooms where other men of identical age become invisible. Perel's work returns to this theme consistently. Desire responds to aliveness, to presence, to the energy a person brings into a space. These 5 body parts aren't passive features to be displayed. They are active expressions of how a man lives, whether he's still engaged with the world or quietly retreating from it. Women read them because they tell a story that words alone cannot. And for men over 60, that story can be one of continued engagement, quiet confidence, and compelling presence. Or it can be the other story. The choice is visible in these 5 places, whether men realize it or not. Chapter, this is your sign to stop scrolling and start. If this video spoke to something real in you, share it with a man in your life who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below telling me which of these 5 surprised you most. And if you're ready to go deeper, subscribe to Love, Lies, and Reality because we're just getting started. The next video breaks down exactly how physical touch and the way you hold yourself in close contact triggers something neurological in women that goes beyond conscious attraction. It's not about confidence tips or pickup lines. It's about body science, and it changes how you think about every interaction going forward. Click it, watch it. You'll understand why we saved it for after this one. Love, Lies, and Reality. Because real attraction was never about age. It was always about awareness.